Hi, so welcome. In this episode, I'm going to be starting a new city, but before I do, I want to give a little background. In my previous city, don't look at the name too much, I didn't feel like naming it. This was more of a practice city to me when I first started, and then obviously I kept going. I reached a population of 96,954. But my game performance started slowing, and I think it's just because the population was too big. I'm not sure, it could be the mods or a combination of both. But I wanted to start a new city anyway, and when the economy patch came out, I was going to do it then. My game wasn't working, and then finally it started back working, and I developed a little bit more, but then it just started going slow. But overall, I wanted to build something different anyway, because this city, I had it more like a grid because the area of land was so big that I instinctively went for a grid format just because it was the most efficient. With this one, the new city I've been looking at is called Cape Cavan, and this is a custom map. And the reason why I wanted to do this one as well, it has 30% buildable land, which doesn't sound like much. But if we go to some of the maps on, that's it. It is in default maps. I believe I was using this map right here. This one had a 60% buildable land area. And since I'm thinking to myself, well, if the game having performance issues once you get to a certain population anyway, then all the buildable land in the world doesn't really mean anything if you can't really build on it. This one only has a 16%, which it has too many islands to me. I'm going to show you how Cape Calvin look, and the reason why I selected this one is because of the balance to me. It's hard to explain, so once it loads, I will show you what I mean. So now that the game is loaded, the balance to me is you have all these natural barriers. You can make your city look more organic, but you also have, by all means, it's not symmetrical, but you have these parts over here where you can build on over here. No area is too big in either direction, I guess you can say. And I had a couple of ideas because I was studying this map before anything. Obviously, this is make a great farm area. I'm pretty sure they built it specifically for this. But outside of that, I'm looking at the connections already pre-built. They have a pretty extensive railroad system that can be expanded on. As you can see, it goes out into the mountains over here, and then obviously you can have a cargo harbor and a regular harbor coming in wherever. And right here is where you start at, and I already had a couple of layouts that I wanted to do. There's a little mountain right here that I was thinking that once a nature preserve DLC came out, this would make a good little nature preserve to have at. But until then, in tackling the forest and just kind of destroying this little bit of the natural trees that's already there is one thing I wanted to do. But I already kind of had some ideas of how to lay out this road right here, where I will come down like this, kind of curve it to not to intrude on this part too much. Go down right here, somehow connect it like that, and then continue with this area. But those are all future plans that I have. There's also some transportation ideas I want to do as well. And then here, right here, I said that twice. And over here, we have a railroad already that leads, I presume, to the outside road. So that'll already be a good tourist spot. And then over here, as you can see, and I love how the mountains and curves already are here, so it gives you that organic look already. And it comes down over here into a area as well that we can make into a train station as well. I'm thinking going right here, kind of cutting, but that also does mean I will get rid of electoral forest over here. So all the things I'm looking at as part of a give and take situation of how much I want to entreat into the natural forest that's already here and how much I want to preserve. To me, anything out over this line, I would say, of the highway that's already here is something I'm not gonna touch. Just because you got mountains and stuff over here, I would say that would be good. A really good natural preserve, probably building in a trail or something to go around it once that DLC eventually comes out, or if it comes out, but I'm going to be optimistic and say when. And then having it also go over here. So there's a lot of room to build. And a lot of ideas going through my head. And eventually connecting it all so that way, it looks like a beautiful city that, you want to live in. And as you can see, there's more mountains and stuff over here. So that is the reason too. And I'm thinking of having a little cargo harbor right here, but I didn't want to go to this area. So I was thinking over here because it's already flat anyway. But as we only have 1 million in the bank and the economy is supposed to be a little bit, harder to actually get started, those things will come in time, just because we also really need to make sure we have the budget. While I do want to get this train line running as soon as possible, we may not have the budget when you may not have the budget once it unlocks, just because if I only have 100 people here, there's no reason to have a train. But without any ado, one of my first things I'm going to probably need to do is plan out how I want this to connect out to that, and then that way we can build our residential and our our shops. But in my mind, I've been thinking of how to do this in a way to have a main street, because I eventually want to have a tram coming down the street to kind of link everything up, at least on this side, to where you can take the tram all the way down, come back over here, link up with the train if you know to go to a different part of the city, or I guess a different city altogether, because there may be different cities. But without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and try to see how I want to do this, and we'll get started. Hi, so after some thinking, I have finally decided my game plan for this city. First thing I'm probably going to do is start out by connecting this road like this, getting rid of the trees right here, going down like here and connecting up here. One thing I also want to try out as well is building a train right through the highway. Well, not right through, but right between the highway that will stop at each city. So with this road right here, we'll come down, have a train station over here, and then link back up with the highway and come back this way as well, and then have these two pretty much go right beside each other, and this one keeps going over here, following the highway down to probably go this way. This one will go right here, and then there'll be a track right there to connect both. I'll have to see first when I get to this area how I'm gonna fully do everything, but I think it'd be kind of cool to have a train going right in between the highway. That way it saves on cost, the infrastructure is already there, and with this new road builder tool, I've been playing around with that a little bit off screen. There's a lot of different possibilities with that as well. And so, without further ado, let's get into it, and when that time comes, we'll figure out what we do from there. And are you used to planning for something when you can't really do anything right now? Now, I kind of want to preserve this road, this little farm road. So what I was thinking at first was to have this turn like this, and kind of go down and then meet up on the side. So kind of more right here, but that angle will be too, I don't really like the angle, and then it'll still be right next to the main road anyway. So what I'm going to do is delete this a little bit further back, and then let's have it off to the side. But I do want this angle to be kind of not too curvy, I mean not too of a right angle. It's more like this, more like a soft curve. And one thing I do want to stress with this city is probably going to be transportation to make it easier to get around. And for me, my hierarchy has always been walking, then biking, then trains, buses, all like that, and then cars. That to me is a good hierarchy to keep traffic to a minimum. Trying to bulldoze it. There we go. No, that won't be what I'm trying to get rid of. I'm trying to get rid of it. Haven't played. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't played in a bit, so I'm trying to remember how to. There we go. Okay, this is what.
I'm looking for a brush tool to get rid of everything, and I want to have to. Fortunately, I'm going to have to get rid of some trees in this area. I'm going to try to preserve as much other trees as I can. But unfortunately, this area does not is full of a lot of trees I have to get rid of. But I will keep these like around the coast and things like that I'm planning on doing, but this map has a lot of trees, which is not a bad thing, but we are going to have to get rid of some of them. But I do plan on planning on a lot of that, and I also plan on making a lot of nature parks once the DLC that similarly come out like it was in Cityskylines 1, where you can have like a little nature reserve. Plan on doing that once the time comes, so we will get them back. Now I can just build on top of them, but I've been having some problems with that, especially for my last build, so it's just better to do it like this. But I did wish there was a way to, I know they have this, but it's hard to tell. I don't know how, I feel like there probably is a way to make your own custom set, but I don't know how to do that. So for now this is the best I can do, but yeah, it needs to be a faster way like it was in Cityskylines 1 just to get rid of everything. Like a brush that gets rid of, a brush that is selective to whatever tree you have selected, and then a brush that just says a squid hollow brush, gets rid of everything. Because although this is better than deleting each tree one by one, this is marginally better than just doing that versus being able to just delete them all at once. And I feel for anyone who doesn't use the picker mod, because then you have to go by each tree and delete it all normally. And I'm not a tree expert, so I won't be able to tell you what tree is that just by looking at it. So only a few amount of trees in this game that I can look at and understand what they are. Okay.
Now, if anything else, I'll delete it by hand. That seems probably a little bit faster right now. Okay. So what I want with this road, I want to come down like this. Keep going. Gotta respect the target. Can't talk. Gotta respect the typography. Have the train coming down the main road. That's how I always kind of build my cities, but I want to do something different this time. I want the tram to come down the road, but I want it to be on its own line, its own path. So what I mean by that is have its own network beside the road, so that way people can walk to the main lanes when I happen to be trying to gather my words, where I happen to be right in the middle, so that way it'll be more efficient and move forward with this. Water, so one thing we're going to need is water and sewage and electricity. Where is the transformer station? See, power line, and it just leads out. Okay, so I have to build my own. transform station, since I'm trying to think of an out of the way place to build this. You just leave it and just get into the city, blah blah blah. There's a lot of trees right here. I actually may, let's do something simple. Build a little road right here. Put it right here. It is now connected. I believe it is connected. Can't tell. But yeah, it looks like the power lines are connected to it. So can't really tell how people moving in first. Now I'm trying to think. When you're coming down this way, I want it to be as I want it to be as little interrupted as possible to make it more like a thoroughfare than just stop, red light, stop, red light, stop, red light. So what I may do, but I want it to be interesting too versus just building it like a grid. So one of the roads I want to branch off would probably be like right here. Then a few ways down, have another road right here. And then have this one just turn. This also gives me like rooms for parking, things like that. I just don't want it to be a grid. I'm not really worried about efficiency, I'm just trying to make it look interesting. I mean, granted, that still kind of look a grid, but interesting grid nonetheless. Because I'm trying to make efficient use of the space, but I don't want the space just to look like a copy and paste of each other, where you just go right to left and it looks just the same. I'm trying to think how that looks. I think that's a little bit just too much going on. I think it went from interesting to just busy. Trying to think of a nice place to put the water sewage for right now and then come back and clean it up later. Only place I can think to put it that I even still have access to over here. I'm looking for a sewage outlet. I'm gonna go with a water tower for now because I need to figure out what way the water flow is coming. And I think right here would be a cool spot to have one. A little bit of decoration when you're coming in. And with that, it's been long overdue, but finally time to put some houses in. Before I do that though, I do want to make a few paths to make it easier to walk. It's not gonna be too... I think I may make this a little shopping strip. I don't really want any houses over here. And then, now we can build some houses. This one is 2, so we'll do 2. I'll probably do the same thing right here. And I'm not really worried about wasting space too much, just because this is a pretty fairly sized map. And you're finding out once the area gets big enough, you can't really develop there anyway. I mean, you can still develop, but there's not enough. I'm not sure how to phrase it, but there's not enough simulations in the game anyway. After a while, your game start going. I'll just put it as bluntly as I can. After a while, your game is going to go. Your game is start to going. After a while, your game is gonna start going slow. Once you reach a threshold, anyway. So, best way I can find to compensate with that is just to spread your city out anyway. Yep, I had a feeling something was gonna break sooner or later with that road. Right now that's good enough anyway. What I can do is design around that. But I can imagine the use, I just thought about the use of that road builder mod. I can imagine the builds that people are gonna have with bike lanes and everything like that. If you can just add it to any road, I can finally build the type of like. Because I remember on Cityskylines when I spent like hours searching for a road that came similar to what I was trying to build, which was a 2-lane. It was pretty simple too. A 2-lane, I guess it would be a 4-lane road, 2 bus lanes, and 1 bike lane. And I could not find a road like that for some reason. Well, I finally found one, but it took a long time, longer than I thought it would be to find a road like that. But it was just something simple, like a 4-lane road with 2 bus lanes and a regular lane. 2 regular lanes for a total of 4 lanes and 2 bike rides. 2 bike lanes, and then I also wanted a medium. And I'm thinking now, something like that, and I can build a park right here. Or not really necessarily a park, just a tree area with benches. I'll call it a comfort area. But I always wanted to build something like that. I always want a road like that, and that to me was for some reason really hard to find. I just thought of what I may do, I may build a tram along the right. No, I would need it to be in the middle. But with this road builder mod, what I may do, because I did say I was going to have it on dedicatedly, I may have to destroy some stuff. I wish certain things were able to build. I have to get the milestone for it. So I'll just make a conscious effort to leave this area blank, because that's what I'm supposed to do. What I may do actually is do this. Build a gravel road and the intermittent time. That way I can come back through and we turn off anarchy. Anything that's destroyed is going to get destroyed when I build a tram anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. Better to get rid of it now before it levels up to like level 5 or 6 or anyway. is so we're gonna leave it the same height, come back down to 2, and now we should be. I was about to say, how is that too much of a slope when they just let me do the same thing? And yes, I could have turned anarchy on, but I wanted it to be somewhat passable. And the next one will be a crossing. I'm not trying to make too many crossings because I don't want traffic to stop too much. I still want the roads that are supposed to prioritize traffic still prioritize traffic, but I don't want the car to be the main thing. Trying to see. I don't want any parking now on a thoroughfare, and I guess when I unlock trees, for some reason I can't put them in right now. I guess I have to wait till I unlock the trees to put those in, and then I do want to, however, at some point put buses in. Well, actually, no. Actually, I'm not gonna put a bus right there. I just realized if I have a train coming down right next to it, there's no need for it to bus. I'm gonna stop right here with the shops. Actually, there is one thing that I thought about. This has been the design that I always kind of wanted to do, which I'm not sure why the US doesn't really do this, is having the medium between that lane and then having another medium. Trying to remember, it'll be right here between this lane. And just getting rid of no parking, so you have a white sidewalk, and then you have a medium with no cars. Okay, so then we add a car right here, so that way people can drive. So that way everybody who is going to the shops can stop right here while interfering with the main flow of traffic. So yeah, we got pedestrian, so you want a car right there. Let me make sure. Trying to do the calculations in my head. Okay, you got pedestrian, medium, car, medium, so 2 lanes. So I want one more car. There we go. Now, granted, this takes up a lot of room, but to me, this has always been a way more safer design. Let's see then. Do I have my custom road, custom 4-lane? Is it 4? Nope, that wouldn't be it. Now is when we turn on anarchy. I'm trying to remember how much money you used to get, because I know with the update everything's changed now. And then also too, I still have streets coming in the middle, so you can still switch between the lanes. So all is not lost. This just to me is a way just better design. Because it is 6 lanes, but it's, to me, more realistic for a thoroughfare than to have, and the zoning is gonna irritate the crap out of me because I just realized it's gonna be on this side. I remember, there it is. I was like, I knew I had a mod that got rid of that. Wait, what is this? Map texture replaced. Oh, this is not it. I'm trying to remember where I had a mod. I think I got rid of it because for some reason I forgot. Primarily, I was trying to keep the development from getting to the other side of the street. There we go. And I should be able to come through and put the train right there still. So I have to take a look at the money. And I think right here, I'm also going to build another road. To give it that transition. And I'm also too, am going to add a medium. Okay, I'm looking at the upside down. Should be right there. There we go. And then I'm also going to increase that medium. Oh, there we go. That's how you add the trees. Feel kind of slow right now. So let me see. Edit all installs. And I see it's not, hold on, if I go to 3. Oh yeah, I just realized it's going to cut into that. So we just go 2. There we go. However, let me actually think about that. Edit all installs. Can I add the trees to the already existing without cutting into, without making the road bigger, I guess? There we go, that's perfect. That way if you're walking you have tree coverage, and in the middle it just looks pretty. Okay, let me actually get back to work because they need a lot of people. Looking to see, yeah, okay, there still is two. There's another thing I wanted to do too once the time comes is put a train not so much in the middle of the street but along the street, because where I live there are trains that drive almost parallel to the street as if it's just right in the middle of it. So I kind of want to replicate that too. And my hope with this walking path is to also eventually make it become a bike path if and when that DLC comes out. But with them going for it like this, it gives me hope that eventually they are going to keep working on the game, so eventually a biking DLC will come out at some point. That is something that I think that should have been with the base game. I understand there's a lot of things that went on with the delivery of the base game, but I just think that's something that should have been in the base game, just because I feel like we've come so far, and I feel like having the ability to ride your bike to different locations should have been like a common sense thing to me, I guess you can say. Like, to me, it shouldn't be a DLC, which I'm guessing it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be free or not, but it will be a DLC. But to me, that's not really. It's kind of like an electric. To me, an electric scooter would be a DLC. But biking shouldn't be a DLC, just because a lot of people use it as their primary mode of transportation. So I'm not sure why it wouldn't be in the game by default already. There is something I just thought about that I'm gonna have to probably adjust my planning for. I just realized the walking paths and the tram for some reason can't connect to each other. But I'll think of that. I'll think of a solution for that when I get to it. I don't want to keep developing like this. I'm trying to see how I'm going to do this part right here. I probably am going to just make this a little bit gritty. But I am going to come through and bulldoze some stuff as well. Just because it is near the center. And then as you come up, I'm going to start, because I downloaded a few parts, like this apartment complex right here. I can build this, and it holds a lot of people, which wouldn't be too bad to build. If I cut in right here, it would be right next to the tram. Actually, I may do that. Cut in right here. Where's the tram gonna be? Right there. Cut. Cut. And then bulldoze this. Bulldoze this. Oh, I should turn anarchy on. That's the problem with anarchy sometimes, you forget that it's on. And then just build the road around this. I kind of know I can build right there. Pull this out. Okay, now just I seen what was causing it. It was for some reason that was overlapping somehow, but I am not going to deal with it since I don't have to. 180. I'm trying to remember how many people this holds. Oh, holds a lot, actually. But that's okay. And then, since that does hold a lot of people, it frees up room for me to build parks that I don't have access to. Sand and seal. I don't know what that is. So we're gonna wait. But I am gonna call it there. I'm going to detail a little bit with the area I built so far, so that way it's not too overwhelming to come back through and spruce up a little bit, and then I'll show you my progress in the next episode. But anyway, thanks for watching, and this is going to be, not sure what I'm going to call this yet. Any suggestions will be greatly appreciated, although I don't think I have enough followers to get like a huge selection, but yeah, there is that option. But thank you for watching, those who did watch, and thank you for me, thank you for coming with me on this journey, because this is going to be one of my projects that I kind of want to see how far I can get.